All right, good morning, Math1111 Online, Spring 2017, excuse me. Um, so hopefully yesterday you were able to get into Georgia View and you came across this thing on the front page right here and said, okay, well, what is this? And it says, okay, well, go over here and do this stuff underneath the course information. And you kind of read through and hopefully you kept scrolling down and said, okay, check it out. There's a video there that he wants me to watch, like how to create this account and what to do. Um, so that's kind of like the main thing is that when I post things or share things, and this is where you're going to kind of see it. It's going to be landing right here in the news, and that'll kind of be our main spot, your go-to. And if this is too small, too tight, what you can do is you always click on just the news button, and that'll make it larger. Obviously at that point you can't see what it's pointing to, but here's the rules I'm asking you to go to course information and do this. So if you're having any problems with getting any of that stuff done, please reach out to me. Come see me in my office, give me a call, send me an email, let me know we need to talk, whatever it is, okay? And I got a little welcome right there also. All right, so today what I wanted to go through is just kind of make sure, so go back to home, just make sure that everything's going okay. You come over here, you got your course information. At this point, hopefully you've taken a look at your syllabus. There's no need to print that syllabus, just take a look at it. Your course schedule, that is going to be important, so let's go ahead and pull that up. I would print one of these out, and the reason I would print it out is because this is kind of your guidelines. This is this is what's going on. So you can see we have 2 assignments this week, and at the moment, the way I think I'm going to handle this is that although this assignment says that it's due on Wednesday, what that essentially is telling you is that you need to be working on that assignment on Wednesday. You need to be working on this assignment by Friday, and that these assignments are due at the end of the week. And so we'll make things due at 11:59 on Sunday p.m. So you have this first week, you've got till Sunday 11:59 to complete those 2 assignments. Now keep in mind, if you wait until Sunday to try to get going on this, then you can put yourself into a cram and so forth. So just kind of be careful about that, and we'll kind of start off with that Sunday evening at 11:59 being our due date, and we'll see how that works for us, and we'll move forward with it. But this is your sheet, this is your check, this is what I've got to do this semester. This is when I'm going to have a test, and so forth. So print this out. This is your Bible. This is what you're going to live by. And I'll send out reminders each week reminding you of what to do this week and so forth. All right, so if I want to come back here at this point, one of the ways to kind of come back is that I got these little pullouts right here. I can see other things that are inside the same tab right here. I can also just go back to course home. It's one of my favorites. And that way I can kind of get back to that landing page, and then I can see course information again. Right. Hopefully you've already registered for my math lab. If you haven't, please come see me personally or talk to me privately. And you do have an e-text right there. So once again, I'm going to go back to home again. Testing information. So what we have here is that this class is definitely an online class. You have to take your test with a proctor. We have 3 different options. So let's go ahead and click on. Oops. My bad, wrong one. We're going to go, let me go back to course home so that way it looks familiar to you. I'll let you play around with those breadcrumbs on your own. So testing and exam dates. All right, so this is another sheet that you might want to print out. It's not going to change. It's not going to disappear or reappear. But what you'll see here is that for test number 1, I provided a window of time. So for test number 1 or exam number 1, you have from Monday. That doesn't seem right. Well, something's a little weird right there. I think there must be a number missing on that right there. I'll get that fixed, but these are your time frames when you are going to be allowed to take these exams. And so these are your windows of opportunity. And this will correspond with the testing times that are set up inside of one of the testing centers. So whether you're going to use the testing center on the Albany West campus, whether you're going to use the Albany State Cordele campus, or whether you're going to use Proctor U, these will be your time frames when you'll be allowed to take that particular test. And so you'll need to schedule your test during that time. like I said, I'll get that date fixed and get this document updated. And then when it comes closer to test date for test number 1, let's go ahead and go back to that so you can see that. So course information, course schedule. So that should say, it should say February 6th to the 8th, not January. So that's what the mistake is. So as we move through our calendar here, and we're working through, so we work through January 1.1, 1.1b, 1.1c, so forth and so on, quizzes, so forth. We get down here, we get to 1.5, we take a quiz, we start reviewing for the exam. We'll have some kind of study guide leading up that week, and then that coming week you'll have from Monday until Wednesday to take your exam number 1. And like I said, as we get closer, I'll repost and remind you of that process. Just trying to give a quick overview again today. Okay, so play around with those testing documents there, see what's going on with those. We've got some course videos. Hopefully you've taken time to look through the course layout, how we're going to do work inside of My Math Lab, and then how testing works with My Math Lab. Those are older videos from a previous section, but they still are very informative. So what I wanted to address today also is how do you do, like how do we do our work? Like how do we get notes? Like how do we gain knowledge or gain the information we need to be able to do the problems that I've assigned? So obviously we come to the My Math Lab tab, we click on all assignments, and that brings us into and connects us to our My Math Lab account, which is what you're supposed to do yesterday. So at this point, before you get going, you need to complete the introduction. At some point you need to complete, you can see this is due on Sunday, you need to complete the College Algebra Basic Skills Quiz, and that's just, I just want to see where people are. I want to see where people's scores are. You're going to get some of them right, you're going to get some of them wrong, and it's not for a grade, it's for me to get a reference point. And then we have our first assignment, which is you should be starting it on Wednesday. I mean, starting it early is fine. The point is it's due on Sunday at 11:59. So here we are, ready to go. I've already done my introduction to My Math Lab. Okay? The computer won't allow you to do 1.1a until you've done the introduction, so just keep that in mind. So I go in here and I can see, okay, well, it's broken down for me. It's kind of giving me this breakdown of what I need to do. Well, obviously question 1, 2, and 3, you don't see that right now, but you'll see those are just vocabulary questions. So you're going to come in there, you're going to take a look at this question, and what you're doing at this point is you're essentially taking notes. You are creating this notebook, guiding yourself through this process. So at the top of your notebook right now, you got section or unit 1.1a, solving linear equations, and you got question number 1, and here we are, and you're like, okay, a blank. A blank is a statement that has two expressions are equal. Well, you could take a guess. You click on identity, you click check, and it tells you no, that's incorrect. You answered identity. The correct answer is equation, because an equation is a statement, and so then you copy down that definition. All right, you can try it again. So now we come back, you click equation, you click final check, and now you've got your 100% on this question. So we click on next, and so now you can see our grade is going up. We've got 1 out of 16 questions taken care of. All right, so I go to the next question, same deal. A blank. To blank an equation means to find all the numbers that make the equation a true statement. So, but we know it's not identity because we just found out that identity, well, maybe it is identity. So we'll click on that, we click check. In this case here, solving the equation means find the solution to equation. All numbers that make the equation are true and the solution to the equation. So in this case here, the answer is not identity, but solve. To solve an equation means to find all the numbers that make an equation true. So you would write that down as a definition inside your notes and gain that knowledge. We go on the next question. All right, so now here we are in an example, and if you're not sure what to do, I mean, you obviously can do the true false thing. In this case here, you might be able to get a little help on the side. So you might have a help me solve, you might have view an example. So you can come here, you can click on view an example. So it starts showing you, it says, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the x with the -5. And so they can see here how they replace the x with the -5, replace the x with the -5. And you would be copying this down. You could look at this, you could copy it down. This is an example for question number 3. And so now you have this example, just like you were sitting in class doing this with me, face to face. You're gathering this information as you go. All right, so you're like, okay, I got it. Click continue, and then it's walks you through this process and da da da. So close. A new question pops up, or a similar question pops up, and now you would work this problem out. You would, on the side of your paper next to that example that you just did, you would work this one, and you would decide whether or not it was true or false. Then you would enter your answer, if you got it right or wrong, and so forth. So let's move right along. So in this case here, I'm actually going to go, let's come back here and look at this drop down. At this point, we slid to number 4, and on number 4, you can see I had some videos in place. And so the idea here is that I've grouped these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions with these 2 videos, saying that these 2 videos right here should assist you in answering these 6 questions. So the intent would be is that you would watch this video and you would take notes. So you click play, and you would write down and copy down what you needed from this video to kind of guide you through the process, okay, to make sure. Then you would come back and you would watch the second video. So you click that, pull it up, and this is more of a, excuse me, let me hit pause real quick. Okay, so this is more like a flash device. So instead of like a video where you just watch, in this case here, now you hit play, and it plays that next step. And then when you're ready for the next step, you click on that, and it guides you through this process. And you can go up to the previous step or back and so forth. So that's kind of how our resources are there. So then the idea would be is you watch those 2 videos, you copy down the example, you thought about it, and now you come into question number 4. So question number 4, here we are. We've got this equation, and now we go through and we utilize those tools that we've created or that I've given to you, those videos, to see if we can solve this equation. You can see here's the assigned media, so you can come back and rewatch those videos if you wanted to. Or what you could do is, you could come here, well, this particular question doesn't have its own. There is actually a video on this question, so you can watch that video also. But the idea is that you would view these videos as though that's like me standing in front of the classroom teaching you, and then you would come home and practice these problems on your own. And the process just continues forward like this. You move to the next question, you can still see that those assigned videos are there. You can come back and review them if you need to. Or what happens is that, like we saw in previous situations, you'll have these tools where they'll help you solve it, or they'll show you an example. And so you can use those to help you solve this equation. But please make sure that as you're doing this, that you are coming through and copying. If you do view an example, make sure you're copying it down and thinking about your steps like you would in class with me. Don't just be mindless about it and then come over here and try to do the same thing. Try to learn the process, because that's what's going to help the information soak in the most. All right, so and you continue that process through. You can see that you go down those 6 questions, and then I have a couple more videos. So when you get to question number 10, you're like, oh, what? And you're solving for a z. So I've got some assigned media. You've got a couple videos right here where you're going to go through and practice, solving that thing for z, showing you how to do it. You come over here, you've got some help me solve, some view examples. So utilize your tools and work your way through. If you come to a question and you're unable to solve the question on your own, like you've watched the video, you've viewed an example, you've used all the tools that are provided here, that's when you click on Ask My Instructor, and it'll pull up, and it'll allow you to type a little message to me that basically says, hey, Mr. Fix, I'm having a hard time with this question. I'm not sure what to do at this point. And you click send. That sends me an email right to my email box, showing me which question you're having a hard time on. It even allows me to see what you were thinking the answer was. So there it goes. And so you can see you have a chance to type it in. It tells me what question you're on, and it actually gives me a link right to this question. And then I can send back a response to you. And we can begin that interaction of helping you get it figured out. All right, so I'm going to close this assignment. remember, with homework, you can come in and out and do it as many times as you want. Okay, so homework should always be a 90 or above. Like you should never, never have a 50 on a homework, because you can always continue to work on this homework assignment even after the due date to bring that up to at least a 90. So one thing is that here I am, I'm back here at this, let me put that away for a second. I'm back here and I'm like, well, how do I get back to, the spot where I can see all my assignments? Well, a couple ways. I mean, you've got, like right here, you've got a link. You've got breadcrumbs across the top. You also have this pullout right here. So there's lots of different ways, and you'll become more and more familiar as you go through the class. So just, take your time. No stress this week. I wanted to show you that in Unit 1.1b, I have my own videos also in here. So I've put into place, when you come into like question number 5, in question number 5 right here, you can see that I have some assigned media. So click on that, and I've got several different videos right here. In this case right here, when you click on this guy, you get a YouTube video. Those are my videos. So if you see anything that's wrong, or you have any questions, just let me know. So I wanted to just point that out. So sometimes it'll be textbook resources, sometimes it'll be my resources, but like I said, if you get to a question and you're like, I don't know how to do this, and you've watched the videos, you've used the question help here, click on Ask My Instructor and send me an email. Okay, you're not at this by yourself. I'm here to assist you through the process. All right, cut that video off for today. Get going on that homework assignment and those first 3 things, and we'll see. And when I say first 3 things, let's go back to that real quickly. So remember, right now, oops, myself in a bad spot. So all assignments. So remember, right now, you should be finishing up your intro. You should be doing your basic quiz, your basic skills quiz, and you should be getting started on homework 1.1a, going through and taking notes and working your way through the process.